Okay. These aren't that bad, I don't think. So here's the goal though. Like, we're gonna provide you with a word problem, right? From there, you're gonna have to actually like. So we're still doing the same work where you're solving for the variable, but then it's like word problems where from the linear section where we're assigning a value or like a meaning to the variable which we just solved for. Okay. So with this, we can ask you a few different things here. Okay. Yesterday we saw a couple of word problems. So a football player kicks a field goal when the ball passes between the goalposts. It is at a height of 3.15 meters. The height of the football can be represented by the equation. Okay, so sometimes they give you more information than you need for any particular part of the question. In the first one, I'm not going to necessarily need the 3.15 meters. Like, it's just there for a question. It doesn't have to do with the first one, so don't freak out. Okay. Now, determine the height of the football after 1 second. Does anybody know what to do? These are almost like, this isn't even math anymore. It's math. We're using math skills, but it's like, this is a physics question. If you guys take grade 11 physics, this is like the thinking that's involved with that. Right? So it told me a time. Right? What am I going to do with it? Justice?
Would you put the 1 in place in the t then?
Is that what you're going to say, Lucas? Yeah? Okay, so we're going to take the 1, because it's after 1 second. I'm going to take the 1, and I'm going to plug it in for t, and it's going to spit out the height that the ball was at after 1 second. Coco, do you have a question?
No.
Okay. Okay, so you're just going to do that. You just go, and these are okay to have decimal numbers, right? Because this is a continuous, it's a continuous curve in the real world. So you're just going to plug it in. So h equals negative 0.6 times 1 minus 2.5 squared plus 3.75. Are you going to stress about the fact that you have a negative number here? No, because you're going to square it. Doesn't matter. Right? So h equals negative 0.6. Yeah, negative 1.5 squared. All right, I have the solution here, so I'll just write down as many steps so everybody sees what's going on, okay? I'm going to deal with the negative 1.5 squared first, so h equals negative 0.6 times, what did you say, Retta? 2.25, that's right. Plus 3.75. Now this is a calculator. That's like thoroughly a calculator exercise. So h should equal, you guys can try it, 2.4 meters. All right, so that means, therefore, after, I didn't leave you a lot of room here, I'll leave you more room on the test, but after 1 second, the ball is 2.4 meters off the ground. Any major issues so far? That's not a bad question. I will ask you a question like this. Okay? I could ask you, how high is the ball? 10 seconds, 100 seconds. Sometimes you might get answers that don't make sense. Right? Like if I asked you 100 seconds, the ball's never going to be in the air for 100 seconds, so you're probably going to get some number that doesn't make any sense. Right? The point is, it's a curve. It's a curve, and it's an equation that satisfies that curve, but there are like boundaries in which it makes sense given the word problem. Does that make sense? Okay. How long does it take? Now, I'm going to highlight something. How long? I'm talking about time now, just so we're flipping from height to time. Retta.
What's that thing you always write before your statement, like the 3 dots?
It's therefore. It just means therefore.
Oh, 3 dots.
Yeah. Instead of writing the word therefore all the time, it's 3 dots is therefore. There's different orientations of it. I think the other one, this one here, I think is such that. if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But this one's there for the 3 dots. It's like an upward triangle and a downward facing triangle. There's just all these little abbreviations for things. That's all it means. Okay. How long does it take for the football to reach the height of the goalpost? What did we say the height of the goalpost was?
3.5 meters.
Okay. I'll do all the work here in black so you can segregate them, okay? Height equals 3.15. Well, if h equals 3.15, I'm going to plug it into the equation. 3.15 is equal to negative 0.6 t minus 2.5 squared plus 3.75. What am I solving for? Yeah, because I only see one variable left. How am I going to do that?
You use square root method.
I would use the square root method because it seems to be like I see it written in a particular form. I can solve for t directly with square root method instead of having to expand and factor and quadratic equation. Like, you don't want to do that, right? So we're just going to start untying it. 3.15. I'm going to subtract 3.75 from both sides. You guys just finished doing this on the sheet for a different reason. It's all related. 3.15 minus 3.75, what's that?
Negative 0.6.
Divide both sides by negative 0.6. I get 1 equals t minus 2.5 squared. I can square root both sides, right? I get plus minus 1 is equal to t minus 2.5. Gonna add 2.5 to both sides. 2.5 plus minus 1 is equal to t. So t equals 1 plus 2.5, which is equal to 3.5 seconds. And t equals 2, sorry, the other way around, but it doesn't matter because it's plus. 2.5 plus minus 1, sorry, I'm thrown off. Is that okay? Why is there 2 answers? We talked about this yesterday. If I skip down here for a sec, you guys don't have to draw this, but here's my grid, right? Football gets kicked. It goes up and comes down. Let's say, what was the height we were after? 3.15? Let's say I drew a horizontal line at was it 7.5? No, 3.15. Let's say I drew a line at 3.15 meters. How many times does the curve cross that line? Twice. That's why I have 2 time values. One happened here at 1.5 seconds, and the other one happened here at 3.5 seconds. Does that make sense? Yeah, right.
I'm going back up.
Yep, sorry. That's just, I just wanted to illustrate why, like if you still have questions as to why there's 2 answers with quadratics, that's why. Yep.
So, what would happen, like, you know, when you found that, like, plus or minus 1 equals t minus 2.5, right? What if instead of saying 2.5 plus or minus 1 equals t, what if you were like plus or minus 1, like plus 2.5 equals t? Like, what if you were to write, instead of 2.5 minus 1, what if you were to write 1 minus 2.5?
I think that's why I corrected myself, because it's, I don't think you can, I don't know. That's why I wrote it that way. And I got carried away in the top part here, right? It should be always 2.5 plus 1, 2.5. When you, whatever you,
I don't know, it's like the way I kind of thought of it is like, whenever you get like the plus or minus value, I usually just put that after your first number. So like I put it right.
oh, you're right. It doesn't matter. Because then you're just going to get, if you decided to go like this, like the 2.5 is plus or positive, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to write -1 plus 2.5, that's still 1.5.
Yeah.
And -1, no, positive 1. Yeah, I just don't do it that way. That's why my brain's not firing like that. But you still get both answers. I always just put it in front of the plus minus, so it always looks like this. So I don't have any thinking to do. But they both give the same answer. Just gotta be careful. Okay? Now what? Huh? Oh yeah, sorry. If I had room, I'd give you more room on a test. You're right. Therefore, yeah. Therefore, the two time values are 1.5 and 3.5. Okay, you can write that. When the ball's 3.15 meters off the ground or something, right? That's what you're gonna write. Ice me for the next question. How long does it take for the football to reach the ground? What are we solving for here? Remember, it starts on the ground right here at t equals 0. The question is, how long does it take to hit the ground over here? Like a total amount of time. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, so what's that mean? What's my height over here after it hits the ground? 0. Right? So if I make that substitution where h equals 0, right? I get 0 equals the equation, -0.6 times t minus 2.5. Sorry, I'm going off of something here. If I make a mistake, tell me. Is that right? Just solve for t again. Exact same thing, but I'm solving for a different point relative to last time, right? Last time I plugged in 3.15 for h. This time I'm plugging in h equals 0, and I'm solving for this point. I'm still going to get what, though? 2 answers. Because it was technically at h equals 0 over here at the beginning, too. Right? So let's just do the work on it. Okay? Going to bring the 3.75 over. Divide both sides by. What is that number? 6.25 equals t minus 2.5 squared. Are we okay so far? Square root both sides. I'm allowed to do that because the number on the left is positive. So square root both sides. What's the square root of 6.25? Anybody that far? 2.5. So you're going to get plus minus 2.5 is equal to t minus 2.5. Again, I had a little scary thought there. I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work, but just trust the math. Keep going, right? What's going to happen? I got to add 2.5 to both sides, right, to get t by itself. So t equals 2.5 plus minus 2.5. So t is equal to 2.5 plus 2.5, which is equal to 5 seconds. And t is equal to 2.5 minus 2.5, which is equal to 0 seconds. That's what we said before we started the question. We should expect to see that the ball was on the ground twice. Once before we kicked it, once it came down. Time equals 0 and time equals 5 seconds. Those are your roots. If I asked you an extension question on the test that said, how high did the ball reach? What was the maximum height of the ball? What would you do? Coco?
Would you do like the vertexing that we just did?
Yeah, you just find the middle of those two values, plug it into the equation for t, it would spit out the height value for that point. That's the vertex. That's the work we were just doing on the sheet there before we did this lesson. Started it. Okay? I'm not going to start the next question. I'm going to hand out the sheet. I'll do some more questions after the break. Okay, but you guys can at least take a look and struggle through a couple first for a couple minutes, okay?
So you're saying therefore it took 5 seconds for the ball to reach the ground?
The ground after it got kicked. Therefore, I'll write that too. Therefore, it took. You could say Coco. No, it's okay. Took 5 seconds for the ball. Okay, I'll stop this. It's not break time yet.